Hello Internet and welcome to a very vibraty desk. So we're back in rail survival. It's a sandstorm outside. The thumper drill is a thumpin', which reminded me of something. The whole automatic off meant I didn't notice it last episode. So everything shakes when the drill runs. Doesn't shake out here, but like if I'm in a seat or anything. I think the bed, yeah, the bed does it. Ooh, it's kind of nice, relaxing. Yeah, because that counts as a drill, when drills are running, the grid vibrates. It's just sort of a visual, I mean, I guess it's not, oh, I didn't realize these were accessible. That's neat. Yeah, everything vibrates. I have a way to fix that. I kind of maybe want to rework that whole... No, I probably don't. I've been debating getting rid of that refinery and just using the one, but it's probably good to have one specifically for the iron because, again, my plan is to need a bunch. Yeah, I don't think I'll worry about that. But I do have a way I can fix that, hopefully. So we may try that. There are a few other things I need to do today. Namely, if we remember that my helmet was open. So, the truck. We've got it here. Currently it's all powered down. That's because I realized I did a bunch of stuff here. Like, that wall is fixed. I mean, once the storm ends, there are more things to show. But I was on here for a good bit, and the truck was starting to lose power because it's just sitting here with like lights running and whatnot. I need to get the fueling thing set up for it. And I probably need to do that at the ice mine, at the well. So yeah, that's probably step one. I also... You'll notice that this area is not pressurized, partially because the door's open, partially because the windows still aren't done, because I still need to go and grab silicon. And I think for that, it's probably going to be better to just set up the silicon mine. So, I was hoping to get some train stuff. Maybe I'll start, well, probably not. I've got some tasks. Let's get the stuff I'll need for fueling. And we might as well take the truck over there. Makes it a little easier to see in the ominous storm. And I've kind of got, I think, the perfect spot. Oh, right. So I've set up a bunch of stuff on the truck that didn't exist before. I'll show some of it off again when it doesn't suck so much out here. But one of the things that I did is set up so the lights automatically turn off, and a bunch of other stuff happens whenever I get out of the vehicle. Which means, ow, which means I need my own lights. So my plan here is to have basically an articulated little fuel arm that I can use to position a tube that goes in there whenever I park up. And I'll unfortunately need more parts. But at least the storm has passed, so real quick. So in here, all done. Let's do a quick loop around. Out here, catwalks, done. Up there, I have a turret. I have a few sprinkled around that are primarily for bugs and potentially any asteroids that stray too close. We'll see. I think they're only set to 500 meters, so hopefully they don't go off too often. But, yeah, just a little bit of defense. There's one over there, but we'll see it in a second. Yeah, I've got catwalks that go. I do need to get those under frames. But yeah, catwalks that go up to the funicular. Go all around. I've got all the wind towers built up. Again, all this stuff was here. It's just now all welded. There's that little guy. Another turret there. I have... So those are yield modules, but I still need to find gold. I do, however... they're hard to see in there. I have 4 speed modules on the assembler. So I assemble stuff super fast, which made all these catwalks very good because I have plenty of iron at the moment. But those things, they take so many little components that are a pain to get built. So yeah, I would call the main structure of the base mostly done, which is awesome. Now I just need to get this set up and done. Okay. So we've got a little arm. Just for the moment, I'll do it all manually. I might set up something eventually, but... truth be told, I'm not too worried about having to manually reposition everything. So... need to, of course, pull around to the other side of the truck. And hopefully, so long as I get fairly close, I should have enough articulation here to get things connected. Oh, yep. There we go. So yeah, now the engines turn on, so that's another thing I did. Do I have... Interesting. Why isn't the tank filling? It should... yeah, it should be piped, because it's right on the connector. Oh, no, there it goes. Cool. So... I should probably... what do... okay, most of the stuff here won't take computers, which means I don't need more silicon. What I may do as well... let's get all of this set up and ready. Including probably... so, I've been thinking about it. This was always sort of the plan, but I think it has multiple benefits now. I want to run a pipe from over there to over here, so that all this stuff can connect up, and it gives me hydrogen over there, readily accessible, and it gives this power and the power over there, and all, you know, it makes all of this one power system, which means I have more energy, which I desperately need. So, yeah, tank is 3 tall. Let's run this out a little bit. God, I love a fast assembler. Look at that go. Beautiful. Oh, and it all fit. Now, yeah, this isn't much taller than what exists here, so it shouldn't impede my power too much. Now, okay, so we've still got 8K iron. Okay, we've got 8 plus 6K iron, so that's pretty good. I do think with the added power of, I think, a couple of days of accumulation, we've actually done pretty good in terms of getting the iron mine running. Especially, again, the bulk of it was just that all of this is steel plate, and steel plate's pretty expensive. It's not insane, but it's still a lot for the amount I was doing. Hopefully from now on, I won't have to worry about it too much. And if anything, I'll have to reset up the system to track how much iron I have and go off that versus just how I've set it now is just make iron forever and I use it up. I'm also thinking maybe I should have started with the pipeline because I think could have put a cargo container on it and saved myself a bunch of trips back and forth. Stupid large tubes being large and tubey. There we go. Cool, so that's filling up. The truck is... How full is the truck? Not quite. And now the big tank has taken priority. I should be able to see, though... Oh. So yeah, when I hop in and the engines kick on, we are getting 6 hours of power. I'm not doing too horribly. That's nice. I may... How quickly does this kill our power? So we went from 9 hours to 2 hours, but 2 hours of running's not bad. This 102H2 gen is pretty slow. That's not too bad. This is a lot of fuel. This one tank should be all I need fuel-wise. So that's all looking good. I'll just let that go for a while to really stock up. While I plan out how exactly I do my line. It's gonna be subgrid with a bunch of hinges, that much is certain. And I think I'll plan... I shouldn't need 2 points of articulation anywhere. I should be able to get by with shorter adjustments. So I can use this to angle myself correctly. Once I get closer, I'll angle myself back the other way. Now, do I... I do almost wish there were a, an adapter piece that, like, merges. That's not horrible. Because that is... The end of that is the shape of a normal conveyor. So a normal conveyor on there looks quite correct. But I kind of want to match what I've done elsewhere and use the tubes. And I think, truthfully, there'll be more tubes involved than hinges, so... So I might as well just go with what feels right there. And I'll continue with my little pillar support sections as well. Ow. Okay, so we're fairly close now. I think if I angle this, I want to do... yeah, I think I'll need a downward adjustment. So if I do that... Yeah, if I do that now, it'll probably work. So let's see. I wish it were daytime for this. Let's see if we can aim this tube. How is this looking? Oh, that's pretty close on. Enough I can probably work with it. If I kind of do a segment here that ends with another hinge. I can have this stretch just angle down to the right height. And then I have one more hinge at the end to connect up sideways. And I'll have a nice off-grid interlinked thing, which is going to be a lot of what happens here. I mean, I sort of did this with the pipeline up there, but this is much more complex. So that's exciting. New. So if we drop that to negative 5.92, this one I can raise to positive 5.92. Yeah, that, wow. For just eyeballing it, that came out pretty much dead on. And now... now I will do... Let's break the pattern a little bit, but... if I stick one of those, that should lengthwise look right, and this last stretch is just gonna be it. No more little supporty bits, and it probably won't be as long. Yeah, the guns are a little ominous now. I don't know if I'm super thrilled about that. Ew, and... Okay, I may... I didn't think about the fact I may need a second articulation here. So, I can stick that there, but I don't think there's enough room in between those two pipes for the hinges. And my only angling is over at the very end, which will just swing this even closer together. So I may need a little whop at the end. Oh, okay. Now I hear the spiders. Hopefully the guns will deal with that. Oh, nope, the gun didn't. Get out here, spider. A gun? Ah! Oh, there it goes. Neat. So, they may not be the quickest to react, but I do now have defense. Also, it's very stormy, which is great for power, not as great when I want to see things. So yeah, with that there, that's going to be too close. So I think what I do is have more sideways hinges. This is going to get real weird, especially considering I can't see much. And I'm almost out of fuel again. Let's fix that. Okay. So what I need to do is swing this hinge back a little bit. Like there, maybe. This is part of why I've left all of this open for the moment. That may have been too far. So... actually, I've got a scheme. I realize I've been welding up the hinge parts. I don't need them welded up. So, what I want to do is get rid of you and put that hinge on this hinge part. I should be able to angle it as such that all just sort of lines up. Height-wise, we're pretty close to right. I think it'll be enough.
Meteor storm inbound.
The issue is this hinge, a little movement back here translates to a lot way at the end of this pivot arm. Okay, that's looking good. Do I risk something? Ow. I think we try. If this attaches, it'll pull everything in line. And I should then be able to turn all these hinges off. Maybe except for like these. And everything will kind of wiggle into place. Hopefully... hold on. Let's detach the truck temporarily. Now, hopefully nothing will explode when I do this. Oh, except for... oh god, there's so many subgrids. Gonna risk it? Oh. Okay, does everything still exist? Pipeline is all there. That means those two grids are now connected, so we're getting insane amounts of power. I'm about to die from rocks. All these guys are still attached. Okay, I think we got away with that. Need to go hide. Okay, so if I now start turning these off, that'll take any sort of tension out. I should be able to turn these off. Because these are hinges and they can't, you know, the sideways hinge can't rotate up and down, at least much. This should all just kind of support itself. Yeah, and I can see everything twitching. That one is already off because it's not built. So yeah, so now everything... there shouldn't be any tension. Everything's just sitting where it wants to sit. I can connect things to the ground. And hopefully all is good. I can get stuff welded. It's the one issue here. Let's see if I can fix it by turning things back on. Need to be able to convert this to a static grid. I don't know if it'll let me. Let's try this guy and maybe that'll give us some much needed rigidity. Yes. So that's locked in.
Fuel low.
Ha! Share inertia tensor saved the day. Okay, so now I just have to weld all of this up. That'll be fun. And even though this is completely unnecessary with jetpacks, figure it's a good time to show off how the crane works. Let's drive over here. Yeah, that should be good. So, some of the changes, this part isn't a change, but I have that set up to lock us down. Maybe that, I can't remember. That's there. This, well, first I'll go over here and show this. So, I have the parks grip, or, hold on. The parks grip, or piston and rotor keybinds version 1.3.0. This basically lets me control hinges and pistons and rotors and things with keybind presses based on being in a cockpit. So, I have two timer blocks set up, which don't matter for park. But I can do this. So, what I'm about to do is fully vanilla, even though park has an option for it. Boom, everything's straight. I have a timer set up with controls to put the hinges and rotor and piston back so that everything moves right back to here, which is handy. But, because I'm in this cockpit, I can do this. I'm doing W, A, S, and D right now. There it goes. Hold on. Using the timer block broke this. Forgot that's how this works. Okay, well that's good to know. So the set things to a position command for pistons and hinges, it sets a minimum and a velocity and moves it there, which then breaks if you want to, say, use a rotor and rotate 180 degrees, or, you know, rotate fully through it. So now we're working. But yeah. So A and D rotate me side to side. W and S raise and lower the boom. And I've set it up with the two rotors sort of counter-rotating so that I stay level as the boom goes. And then, what is it? Yep, space and C push me out. So, if I want to go over here, weld this up, I can. Then I can move myself out further, weld a few more, can hop up here if I want. Yeah. So it's all set up Very easy to use. Will I actually use it a bunch? I don't know. But, if nothing else, say I'm in the middle of nowhere and run out of hydrogen, well, if I have the truck, I can just drive back here. I don't know, it's neat. It exists. It's probably going to be a boondongle I never use, but yeah. Okay, so I just checked the batteries. I do have 2 batteries now, because I have this is the one at the well, and this is the one on the base. Base one's pretty low, and the warfare one is rapidly emptying. So, that's something. Turbines are moving pretty good though, so hopefully we power through. I don't know, it sounded like... Yeah, the iron one is still going. I may have just broken the iron one. Because it goes... Well, no. It's looking at this battery. And this battery is at 12% right now. This is the one that turns it off. So if the main base battery drops below 5%, this turns off. Functionally, I think that means if both batteries are like about 5%, because the base battery will pull from that battery. I'd guess. I don't know for sure how they actually balance batteries in the game, but point being, those may need to change again because there's a good chance they're no longer effectively limiting the drill when I need them to. I also don't have one set up for the ice mine, which is also pumping out ice right now. How are we looking over here? Okay. Cargo terminal is pretty close to full. Let's name this so I know which one it is. We'll turn it off again. Tanks are slowly filling. I may have to add a few more O2H2 gens to the system. But that's doing its thing. Okay. So now everything should be piped up. Let's see. Right. If I can pull algae out of the algae farm, everything's connected. Probably need to set up an inventory manager to deal with that algae. Sweet. So now if everything's connected, that means I can set up the hydrogen tank to auto refill bottles. Refill my bottles from anywhere on the base, and refill my suit hydrogen. Sweet. The sun's coming up. We've got a pipeline running over, giving us ice whenever we need it. Let's go ahead. See if we can't load up for quick mine. And apparently shoot some spiders. But I still can't see even though it's daytime. Just kind of want to make sure they aren't, like, you know, shooting way off in the hills and wasting their ammo. I don't think the static drill is going to show up in the sort of build list on here. Yeah, no, not seeing it. Okay. Let's do our classic thing then. So I want an advanced static drill, add that to the build planner. I don't have a cargo container at the other one, so I shouldn't need to worry about that. I will want a battery. Want a U. And then, yeah, all the wind turbines take the same. So those guys, and then, yeah, that should be good for that. Set all that to production. 6K iron, 50 cobalt. I'll just get rid of that. I do need some silicon, so I may have to break down some glass. How much cobalt do I have? Okay, 138. Not much, but should be enough. And I potentially don't need to produce everything I'm producing. I just, especially when I have a lot of resources, I prefer to get stuff, just build it so I have extra. Because usually I end up needing more than I've prepared. I have 2.3k nickel in the same things. That's good. 7k iron. Yeah, which is plenty. So it'll just come down to if I have enough glass to break down for the silicon, which I'll do once everything else gets built. Okay. Let's disassemble all the glass I have, which was apparently that much. Yep, and that gives me enough. God, glass takes a lot of silicon. I don't actually need these computers, but I'll let them produce. Okay. So that's all that. Let's take a bunch of interior plate. Let's produce a couple hundred steel plate. This should be a much simpler mine because it's not on the side of a hill. I should be able to get by with pretty much setting it up as I've set up the ice mine. So, okay, truck is chock full. I am chock full. Engine's on. Let's see how much fuel we burn. Okay, it's not like the number's not counting down by the second, so that's a good sign. It's every like 12 seconds. But even if the engine's cut out, the battery should be enough to power me around. I do like sitting inside this truck. I feel like I got the hood right for a big industrial vehicle. Maybe turns a little sharper than you'd want. So this is Silicon Town. Yeah, nice and flat and easy. suppose I should think about eventual railway connection. If the base is over there, this is probably where the station will be. So if I have the drill outlet facing there, just double check this was... Yep, silicon. So we pop that there. Blue means it's on the right thing. Get this built up and we can lay out the rest. Because yeah, in fact, this will be even simpler than the other deal. Because I don't need a O2H2 gen on it. So I can legitimately just have the drill with a battery on the back and a wind turbine sticking up into the sky. Now, hopefully, this is actually on silicon because I just built the battery. Yep. Perfect. I guess this could be a good use if I run out of hydrogen before I get all this welded. I can then use my use the truck to fly up here and get stuff actually built. All right. So we have an almost finished tower. Got a battery, stuck an event controller on it, got a drill. Just gonna turn the drill on. The event controller is set up so that when the drill fills up, it turns off. And that's all I'll put on it. The battery will drain, but hopefully it's enough that, you know, the wind turbines can kind of keep things moving. In fact, how are we looking power-wise? Yeah. Yeah, so we are draining pretty quick. Hopefully it's enough that when storms come through, it gets real full and everything kind of keeps going. And eventually, either it runs out of power and stops, or the drill stops because it's full and all kind of balances out. And I get to take my first load of silicon back home. And there we go. Refinery, refining some delicious silicon. Which means we can get the base fully finished. We'll make this a nice enclosed area for, you know, hanging out in, I guess. I've got my silicon mine going. I've got my nickel mine going. I keep doing this, and by God, eventually it's gonna happen. I think trains are coming. I think next week, or next 2 weeks, yay, alternating schedules, next 2 weeks, I'm gonna get a track going. Because I have 2 destinations with me in the middle. I can start getting stuff coming in. Let's finish up on the funicular. Not been up there in a minute. And it gives us a nice view of everything going on over at the well and the pipe connecting them. So yeah. Well, I already said what I plan on doing, which is getting actual track laid. It'll be interesting. I'll probably only get like, I don't know, I may do just like a simple test track to start and then get the train built, because I think having a train will make it easier Granted, I can load stuff in the truck. So maybe I build the line first and then build the vehicle to go on the line. But maybe that both happens. It could, because the track laying is going to be a lot of the same thing over and over. But yeah, we'll see what happens, but by God, next time we're here, trains are happening. So for now, thank you everybody so much for watching. Feel free to check out the other stuff I've done, and until next week, bye-bye.